Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Adventure Broad. Hi, I'm Denise on The Adventure Broad. Thanks so much for tuning in, for watching this video. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about on this episode, and I want to share something I just discovered about myself. I am a pessimist. Oh my gosh. Anyone who knows me is going to be like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. Now, let me explain. There's this guy named Martin Seligman. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm calling him Marty. He is a professor at University of Pennsylvania, and I think he was known as the father of positive psychology. He did this study and coined a term called learned helplessness. Google it, look it up, very fascinating. And I've read a bunch of his work over the past few years. And most recently, I read his book called Thrive. And in it, he's a real funny guy. And he's a little snarky too. I love that about him. But he was talking about what is pessimism. And basically, it's when you experience something and you think the worst possible outcome. That was my interpretation of it. Now, I've shared on previous episodes some stuff that I've learned that innately, biologically, we have the brain that sees the worst in things because it's a survival thing. Then our childhood experiences also inform that. But it was really interesting to learn about being a pessimist because honestly, when something bad happens, I'm always thinking the worst possible thing. But here's the great news. You can change it. Yes, you can learn optimism. And he talks about that too. And there are certain tricks and things you can do to learn because we might be a certain way in the world, but there are ways that you can work at it, not to eradicate it, not that it's a horrible thing, but if we want to, I don't know, kind of jazz up our quality of life, we do have the ability and the tools and resources to do that. So for example, Marty, I'm going to call him Marty, he talks about one technique at the end of the day, writing down what worked well and why it worked well. And it's fascinating. I believe he says that if you do this for X amount of period of time, it has been shown, because he's done a study on this, to help you feel more optimistic. So I'm doing that. Granted, I don't do it every day, but if I have my iPad in front of me to read a book, I open up my notes app and I do reflect upon that. So I wanted to come clean. I am a pessimist. I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm also keen on being a little bit more optimistic because I believe it'll help with my anxiety. And when you think about, okay, instead of the worst case scenario, the best case scenario, I don't know, it just feels so much better. All right, I hope this is helpful. Love to hear your comments. Have a great one. Bye.